Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The Ukrainians finally came up with a number of Russian military personnel involved in this special operation since February 24th, 2022. Now this is according to their intelligence data. So let's see what they say in this article. This article comes from Republic World from August 28th over there, 2022. It's 5:48 a.m. over there when I look at this article. So Russia has deployed 160,000 troops in Ukraine since February 24th, says Ukraine intelligence. So it says the Kiev Independent reported, citing Ukrainian intelligence. Now Vadim Skibitsky, a member of Ukraine's intelligence directorate, said the figure bars the Russian National Guard members who have been tasked by the Russian Ministry of Defense to control the occupied regions. During the initial months of the invasion, Russia's defense ministry had acknowledged that it lost more than 1,300 soldiers in line of combat. But the US intelligence and UN figures put the death toll of Putin's forces between 10,000 to 15,000. And it says here that Russia's attempts to boost its armed forces. As you probably know, Vladimir Putin signed a decree increasing its military with 137,000 servicemen. So here we have Russia's attempts to boost its armed forces. Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a decree to boost the figure of the armed forces from 137,000 servicemen to 1.5 million, which is being deemed a move to replace the significant losses of the combat troops in the Ukrainian war. The move comes to establish the staff strength of the armed forces of the Russian Federation to 2,039,758 units, including 1,150,628 military personnel. The news decree stated, as per news agency RIA Novosti. The Russian armed forces strength stood at 1,902,758 in accordance with a previous decree signed by Putin. As per the document published on Russia's legal information portal, the number of Russian troops will rise to 1,150,628. Moscow has also been recruiting Chechen and Syrian volunteers and shadow paramilitary forces, the Wagner Group. While the invasion ended the sixth month with troops losses on both sides, Putin's decree will come into force on January 2023, from 2 or 3. On January 1st, 2023, that will consolidate Russia's armed forces to their 5th position in the rank of the world's largest armed forces, trailing behind China, India, the United States, and North Korea. Russia's president's recent decree to boost armed forces figures is aimed at replenishing its military, which has suffered heavy losses. This is their interpretation of the move. Now, what is the real reason? Putin and his buddies know. This is just their interpretation because they want this interpretation to be, yeah, there were some people who were killed over there, but you would say, well, if you are going to, this is how probably the logic goes, if you have to bring 137,000 people, that means you lost 137,000 people, right? Well, that could be, could be like that, but you can't make any, that's an assumption, that's it, but who knows. CIA Director William Burns had said last month that there may be an estimated 15,000 Russian servicemen that have died in Ukraine and maybe 3 times that wounded. Well, if we talk about that, we have US retired Colonel Douglas McGregor, who said that Ukrainians probably lost about 60,000 people, servicemen, died, and about 90,000 people wounded. So those are his numbers. Now, Pavel Luzin, a Russian military expert, said Moscow's decree is contrary to the objective reality on the ground, and that Putin will struggle to increase the number of soldiers, the Guardian newspaper reported. Well, it doesn't mean that this expert is not, I don't know, that's his interpretation. I don't know what study he did and how he figured that out. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I'm just saying they definitely increased with 137,000 people. We do not know how many Russians died. The figures provided by the Ukrainians are as they are, and I don't have to say how they are. Obviously, the figures provided by the Russians are as they are. The Ukrainians are like this, too many, the other ones are no, not too many. Probably everything is in the middle. Like the Americans said, about 15,000 sounds right, I would guess. Disclaimer, I have no way to know how many die. All I do is listen to other people, experts, and since you have these experts, because all three are experts, the United States intelligence have experts, the Ukrainians have experts, and the Russians have experts. Now, how could all three experts come with three wild different numbers? Wildly different. The Russians come with 1,500, really? Now the Americans come with 15,000, and the other ones come right now with 46,000. Now, which one is it? And they're all experts. So that's why experts have, they have their agendas. Now, which one it is? I don't know. I have no idea. There's no way for me to know. I don't know if it's 15,000. I don't know if it's 46,000. I don't know if it's 1,500. There's no way to know. One thing I know is that all lie and they all approximate. There's their approximations. Who knows that? Will probably know in about, if the war ends right now, probably in about 10 years. When things will be settled and they will not be ashamed to say, yeah, man, 100,000 people died. Too late now. You know what I mean? When everything is settled. But if it's not settled, you're not going to find out in 10 years. You're not going to find it, but in maybe 50 years. When things settle down. Remember with Soviet Union? Only after Soviet Union collapsed, so everything settled down on their thing, they opened the archives and they allowed people to look in their archives and investigate. For instance, look at the Katyn forest story, where the Soviet, how do you call those guys? Beautiful people came and killed about 15,000. 15 now they say 50 between 15 and 30 commissars. Yes, commissars. Came in when they invaded Poland from the east, and when the Germans started from the west, they rounded up the Polish intelligentsia, militaries, priests, school teachers, all this intelligentsia, got them in Katyn forest and pam, all of them, buried them over there, and then they blamed the Russians. The Germans. The Germans, when they attacked the Soviets, they came over there and the Poles told them, hey, that's over there. So what the Germans did, they called the Red Cross, they called the British observers, they called American observers, they were international observers. They took pictures, they wrote reports. Now, from whenever that was, 42, when it was the invasion, 41, 42, when they discovered that in Katyn forest until 1991, when the Soviet Union collapsed, they blamed the German Wehrmacht and SS forces doing that, killing them. So from 40, let's say 45, 55, 65, 70, 80, 90. So it's about what? 40, almost 50 years they blamed the Germans. And then in 1991 they opened the archives, Russians, and they say, oh, wait a second, yeah, we remember, it was not the Germans, it was the commissars, it was Kaganovich and Beria and all those guys. I'm just kidding. No, Kaganovich, he was there. So anyway, not there, but he was a big shot in the commissariat. So this is it with these guys. We're not going to find out maybe when things settle down. I don't know when that would be. You can't believe anyone. Anyway, they have all interest agendas. So 160,000 people supposedly were brought the front. Putin increased the whole thing with 137. We'll never know, maybe. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.